Hello and welcome into this RNN News Break right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, go down below, hit that subscribe button. It is free to do. We're currently in our hashtag Race to 1K. The quicker we get to 1,000 subscribers, the quicker YouTube will let us do mobile live streaming, which will vastly improve both the quality and quantity of coverage we're able to give you when we get back to the track in February at New Smyrna and Daytona for ARCA East and ARCA Menards Series action. You don't want to miss that. Help us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark and you will not be disappointed by the coverage you see those weekends. Alright, so let's talk about the 2021 ARCA Menards Series schedule. We finally got the full schedule for the main ARCA Menards Series today. Still waiting on the East and the West schedules, although I'm hearing we could see some interesting developments with those schedules when those are released. But we're talking about the main series schedules today as it was released today. And there are some big changes on here. There's some things that I was not expecting, some tracks I was not expecting to lose, and some tracks I wasn't expecting to gain, if we're being honest. Let's go ahead and first look at what the changes are for next season. We have 5 tracks not returning to the ARCA Menards Series schedule for 2021. Those being Chicagoland. Chicagoland is not a surprise, as that was dropped from all 3 of the national series. It seems that Chicagoland just is not hosting races at all anymore. And this is, I should probably mention, this is from what the original 2020 schedule was, not the updated 2020 schedule we got after the pandemic break. Chicagoland was originally on the 2020 schedule, then got changed to a second Kansas state, and that is staying for the 2021 season. That second Kansas race is staying to replace the Chicagoland race. So that is one thing that we are getting. Kansas is the only track with 2 races on the 2021 schedule. Interesting to note there. Then we've got some real surprises for tracks that we're losing for next season. Lucas Oil Raceway, I think, is the biggest hit for me personally. Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis, formerly Indianapolis Raceway Park, is my personal favorite track. I hate to see that go. It is such a fun track. I'm a little confused as to why that is leaving the schedule, but it seems that that has been replaced by Winchester, one of the other famous short tracks in Indiana. So at least we're getting a good short track to replace it that hasn't been on the schedule the last few years. Well, it was on the 2020 schedule after we got things shaken up a little bit, but wasn't originally on there. Good to see a permanent return for Winchester Speedway, although I hate that it seems to be at the expense of Lucas Oil Raceway. Gateway might be the biggest surprise for me in terms of tracks that we're losing. I'm really surprised by that, as I really didn't feel like that was a track that we should be concerned with, that it was going away. I didn't see any reason why it was going to, nor any reason why it should, so that really surprises me that we don't see Gateway on this 2021 schedule. Madison is a little bit of a surprise too. Madison's been a fun race to go to the last few years, been a fun race to watch. I'm not really sure why that one has disappeared off the schedule. And then Memphis is a big question mark as well. It finally got a bump up to the main ARCA Menards Series schedule in 2020 and then is gone again. So my question is, has it been moved back to the ARCA East schedule, or what exactly is happening with Memphis here? It really surprises me that they would bump that up to the main ARCA Menards Series for 1 year and then it's just gone just like that the next year. Very strange change there with Memphis, but not a surprise that we're seeing Toledo back. It was a surprise that was not on the main ARCA Menards Series schedule for 2020, was eventually put there for actually 3 dates once we got everything lined out after the pandemic break, but good to see a permanent return for Toledo Speedway. Not a surprise to see it back. Berlin is a little bit of a surprise to see it back on the main ARCA schedule. It was bumped down to ARCA East status in 2020. Then we didn't even get to see the race at all because of the pandemic. So it's good to see it back, although I'm surprised it has been bumped all the way back to the main ARCA Menards Series schedule. And then I think the biggest surprise for everyone from this schedule, although the rumors had been flying that this was on the 2021 ARCA schedule for about the past week or so, the Milwaukee Mile making its triumphant return. Yes, you're reading that right. Milwaukee is on the 2021 ARCA Menards Series schedule. That is going to be an interesting race to watch. I'm really excited for that one. I think it's great to see Milwaukee back. I think it's been tough not having Milwaukee at any level of major motorsports for the past few years. Good to see that it's back on a major, somewhat national form of motorsports in the ARCA Menards Series. Hopefully, we're able to see a really good show out of that race. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the full 2021 ARCA Menards Series schedule. We saw the 5 changes for next year. We've got 15 tracks that are staying with no change, at least staying from what the original 2020 schedule was. A few of these tracks are making a return or a debut because they didn't end up having the 2020 date that they were supposed to have. But we'll start off, of course, in Daytona, February 13th. A month later, March 12th, we'll go to Phoenix, then Talladega over a month after that. Then we go to the first Kansas date, May 1st. Toledo at the end of May, followed by Charlotte. You see that says May 28th/29th. That's because they're not 100% sure what the date on that race will be yet. It'll either be Friday the 28th or Saturday the 29th. Still getting that figured out, but it will be that Coca-Cola 600 weekend for the Charlotte race. June 4th at Mid-Ohio, then we go to the Pocono doubleheader weekend. ARCA will be there on Friday, June 25th. Then we make a return to Elko, July 10th, followed by Berlin in Michigan, July 17th. Iowa will be the highest form of NASCAR coverage, will be the ARCA Menards Series at the Iowa Speedway in 2020, July 24th. So definitely go out and support that race. Definitely support that race. If you are a fan of Iowa, get your tickets for that race. You want to support that race. You want to make sure that NASCAR and ARCA and everyone else knows that there is support for that race, and that if you want Iowa to stay on the schedule and maybe return to higher levels, buy tickets. Make sure there is support for that race. July 31st at Winchester. Then we go to Watkins Glen on August 6th. Finally going to be able to have that on the main ARCA schedule. It was supposed to be in 2020. Then, of course, that got moved to the Daytona Road Course. Michigan will be August 20th. We return to Springfield on August 22nd. Then the return to Milwaukee on August 29th. And one thing I just noticed here that I forgot to point out. Notice Michigan and Springfield are on the same weekend. Friday, August 20th at Michigan. Then we go right into Springfield Sunday, August 22nd. That will be a very quick turnaround. Very tough on the teams, I would imagine. Tough for those of us covering it as well, but I think we'll manage. But definitely very quick turnaround there, and should be interesting. 2 ARCA races in one weekend from the main schedule. I know everybody's going to be happy about that. DuQuoin will be September 5th, the return to Bristol September 16th, the return to Salem, since we didn't end up having a Salem race in 2020. Big sad on that one. Glad to see that one back on the schedule September 25th. And then they haven't got the Kansas date for the season finale lined out yet, but it will either be October 23rd or October 24th, a month after the penultimate race at Salem. So that's your 2021 ARCA Menards Series schedule. Some big new additions on this schedule, some disappointing tracks that have been taken off the schedule. Hopefully we see returns for some of those in the future. Like I said, IRP is my favorite track. It hurts me to see that not on the schedule, so hopefully we'll see that back in the future, as well as some of these other tracks like Gateway, Madison, and Memphis, tracks like that. So hopefully, if nothing else, maybe we'll see some of those tracks on the ARCA East schedule. Actually, that wouldn't surprise me now that I think about it, because I have heard we're probably going to see some fairly major shuffling going on with those schedules for 2021. So keep an eye out for that. Some of those tracks that were taken off of the main schedule for 2021 may make a reappearance on the East schedule or the West schedule. Probably the East schedule, given geographically where all those tracks are, but you get the point. So keep an eye out for that. Not 100% sure when the East and the West schedules are going to be released, but we will have that coverage for you when it happens. So that's going to about do it for this RNN News Break. Thanks for joining me today. We'll have your next favorite driver coming up a couple days here on Thursday. That's going to be one you're going to really enjoy. Keep an eye out for that. 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. And then there's a 50-50 chance we'll have the NASCAR Heat 5 stream tomorrow night. I'm not 100% sure. Something came up, and I'm not 100% sure that's actually going to happen. If it doesn't, we'll have it Friday night, about 9 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. If it's not Wednesday night, it will be Friday night, I promise. So that is what's coming up for the rest of the week. So as always, thank you to our Patreon supporter, Regional Manager William Holmes. Thank you as always for your support. It is always greatly appreciated. If you would like to be a patron of RNN, the link is down below in the description. Patreon.com/RacingNewsNow. Not required by any means. Definitely appreciated when you want to support RNN in that way. But that's going to about do it for this RNN News Break. So thanks for joining me. As always, I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.